Okay, so in this last video, for the first week of the Mindset Monday series, we're talking about resources and best practices. This will be a very brief video, but I just want to talk about a couple things. So I got some notes here, but the first thing I want to mention is the Headspace app. I've talked about that many times in the last couple of videos, but it's very, very important. I think it's an amazing app. It's really what introduced me and got me started on this entire path, right? This journey is just learning to breathe and to meditate for 10 minutes a day. It's all I do, and it's still 4.5 months later, that's all I do with that app is just 10 minutes per day. And it's great because it's guided, and there's so many different types of packs in there. So like it starts off with the 10 days for 10 minutes a day, is what they call a starter pack. Then after that, if you upgrade to the pro version, then you can go in and start selecting packs that have a specific purpose or goal in mind, which would be like, for example, a productivity pack or a focus pack or a creativity pack. There's ones for a relaxation pack. There's packs for sports. There's packs for, it's just all different kinds of stuff. So again, I highly encourage you to do it. I use that, I've mentioned before, but I use that as kind of like my pre-game activity. Like it's my warm-up exercise is I use the Headspace app every single day. Intentionally to get my mind in a position that it's going to be calm, focused, and then it allows me to go into a deeper level of meditation, a deeper level of mind when I'm ready and I get to that point. So that's after I plan my day. But I love using it because I think about the 10 minutes while I'm breathing and just kind of calming my mind. Then afterwards, I think about what I'm grateful for as I'm planning my day, because I was part of the Best Self Journal, which is going to be my next recommendation. But at the same time, I think about things that I had to be grateful for. So it kind of brings up those feelings of happiness and, joy and all the things that I have to be thankful for. And then from that point, I plan my day. And then after that, I go into my deeper study and creative visualization practices. And that's when I really go into the theater of my mind and start visualizing either longer term goals or, for the most part, I visualize my goals for the day and just go through the motions. That's that shadow boxing I was just talking about in the previous video. What I found is by doing the visualization of my day every morning as part of my daily routine, once I've planned out my day in my best self journal or daily planner, whatever you use, after you plan out your day, if you visualize how you want the day to happen and how you just want the day to go, like you want to get certain things accomplished, and maybe you have meetings or talks that you have to have with people, those kind of things, you can actually visualize all that stuff ahead of time so that when you go through the day, it becomes a lot easier because you've already been there and done that once. Now, is everything that you visualize going to happen exactly as you visualize it? No, it's not magic, guys, but it does make it more familiar, so it's easier to follow a particular path because you've already been there and done that in your mind's eye, the theater of your mind. Does that make sense? So it starts off with the Headspace app. For me, it has. I'm sure there are similar apps out there that do similar things. It's fine, just pick one. I just particularly like the Headspace app, okay? So next one is called the Best Self Journal. In fact, I have a new one sitting here. It's not even opened yet. I'll show it to you just because I've got it. I'm at like week 10 of mine right now, and these are 13-week journals. So you get four per year, right? So there's 13 weeks times 4, it's 52 weeks. So I get one every 13 weeks, and I'm about ready for another one. That's why I've got that one there. It's fantastic. Go to Amazon. In fact, I think you just probably want to do a Google search for Best Self Journal and then go buy it directly from them. I think it's more expensive on Amazon. I don't think they have a store on Amazon. I think I've checked in the past. But if you just go direct to their website, it's like 30 or 40 bucks, right? But here's the key. If you plan on using it, then buy it. And now they have an upsell as part of their funnel. Their sales funnel. They didn't have it when I first started buying it, but now they do, where you get the first Best Self Journal for like 40 bucks or whatever it is, and then as part of the sales funnel, the upsell page is getting 2 additional Best Self Journals, but they call them the graduate journals, which doesn't have like the 15 or 20 pages in the beginning where it explains what the Best Self Journal is and the process for how to use it and all that stuff. You don't need all that if you've done it once, right? If you already know the process. So they sell what they call the graduate edition without all that additional stuff in the beginning. And you can get 2 of them for like, I don't know, it's like $30 or something like that. So my suggestion to you would be to buy one. And if you plan on doing this and making this part of your routine and your habit, is to go ahead and purchase the upsell, because it ends up being, you end up buying like 3 journals for the cost of like 1.5, if that makes sense. So anyways, go check it out. The next thing, the additional study. If you want to learn more about this besides just following me in this training, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, highly recommend that. There's a newer version that is the updated and expanded version. I think it's called the new Psycho-Cybernetics. It might just be called Psycho-Cybernetics, but the new and expanded edition. Look into it, go to Amazon. You can also get the audio program. They have it on Audible, so you can check that out as well. I actually listen to more books than I do read them, because I just don't have a lot of time to read, but I do spend time driving, and I go to the gym, and I do all that kind of stuff, so I listen to a lot of books on audio. So check that out. The next one is called The Theater of the Mind. That's by Matt Fury. Matt Fury actually purchased all the rights to all of Dr. Maxwell Maltz's stuff. He bought it from Dan Kennedy. I'm sure you know who Dan Kennedy is. Dan Kennedy actually owned all the rights to Dr. Maxwell Maltz's stuff, but he sold it to Matt Fury, and he said Matt Fury is the only person that he would have ever even considered selling it to, because Matt Fury has been a student of Dr. Maxwell Maltz for many, many years. And so he's basically taken the torch, so to speak, from Mr. Maltz, who's now passed away. And so he owns the Psycho-Cybernetics Foundation now, and he handles all that stuff, and he does training for it. And he's really good too. Matt Fury, he's more, because it's modern, it's newer stuff. He's an online business owner. He owns multiple online. He's an info product producer and all that kind of stuff. So it's very relevant. Whatever he says and his take on Dr. Maxwell Maltz's stuff in The Theater of the Mind is very relevant and current, so to speak. So The Theater of the Mind, that's a program on Nightingale Conant. It's an audio program. I highly recommend that you check that out. It's called The Theater of the Mind by Matt Fury. The next is The Silva Mind Control Method. This is a book called The Silva Mind Control Method by Jose Silva. This was one of the, I actually read this book like 10 years ago, and I thought, I wasn't ready for it. So I read it and I thought, this is entertaining, but it's, sounds like hocus pocus bullshit. Silva Mind Control Method is very similar in The Theater of the Mind and reprogramming your subconscious. They call it programming. That's where they talk about levels, different levels of consciousness, and you can actually force through meditation and breathing your mind into those different levels of consciousness. And there's very specific techniques that they use, which I found to be incredibly helpful for developing my meditative practice, is going through Jose Silva's the Silva Mind Control Method. And that's just a book, but they have some online, more advanced study courses, and they're hosted by Mind Valley or Mind Valley Academy. If you know anything about personal development, that's pretty popular, pretty big site. And there's one called the Silva Life Systems, I think it is. And that's the one that I just picked up, and I'm just starting to go through it now. But it's very, very interesting, and there's very specific techniques for meditation and getting to deeper levels of mind. And so that is something that I would highly recommend if you're going to take this serious and try to implement this stuff. Getting into deeper levels of meditation is very, very important to auto-suggest and to program your subconscious and to reprogram. And the Silva method is really going to help you with that. So I recommend that. Also, I mentioned this previously, but The Secret, it's on Netflix. It's about the law of attraction. It's about a 90-minute documentary. It's entertaining, but it's also very profound in that it will kind of reinforce what I've been talking about today quite a bit. And it'll tell you about the law of attraction. Excuse me, I'm looking at my watch because I got a meeting coming up. The law of attraction and how so many people have the law of attraction wrong. They just don't quite get it, or they try it because they sit on their couch and they imagine some stuff and then they just expect it to magically appear in their life. That's not how it works. You have to assign intense human emotion to your visualizations, and then you have to act, right? You have to take action. The beautiful thing about visualization with intense emotion is it forces your servo mechanism to activate the automatic success mechanism, which will help you to take action and move in the direction of those goals without much conscious effort on your part, because you have programmed your subconscious mind and the servo mechanism to seek that goal out, right? Because of the emotions and the visualizations. And the emotions is what solidify it for your subconscious mind. So when I talk about the law of attraction and the secret, people have said, you know, the law of attraction, you just sit down and you visualize stuff and abundance comes in your life. No, that's bullshit. That's not how it works. You can't just visualize stuff and have it come in your life. You got to visualize with emotion and then act on it. And so by attaching the emotion, assigning intense emotion to the visualization, your subconscious mind is automatically going to start acting and moving in that direction. But you still have to take conscious effort in accomplishing tasks. You know, you might have to start developing a skill. You might have to spend, you know, take time and rework your schedule to start allowing time for study and for implementation and that kind of stuff. So it's not that it magically makes stuff happen. It's bullshit. You have to take action. And but the beautiful thing about it, like I said, is when you reprogram your servo mechanism and it activates the automatic success mechanism, then those actions are so much easier because it's not a exercise of willpower at that point. It's not you by sheer brute force of will forcing yourself to do things. Now you have your subconscious mind on your side. It's helping you to achieve that goal. There's another quick analogy I can give to reinforce this concept. An elephant and an ant. Think of an ant as your conscious mind on the back of an elephant, and the elephant being your subconscious mind. So if the ant and the elephant are both moving in a southern direction, and that's what they want, then great, they're in unison, they're in sync. But what happens when the ant who's riding on the elephant's back decides that that course, that path is no longer the path it wants to go, and now it wants to go, let's say 90 degrees to the left or to the right. If it's going south, it's 90 degrees to the left would be east, right? So let's say it's going east. It wants to go east, but the elephant is the subconscious mind. It's going to continue in that direction. No matter how much the ant wants the elephant to go 90 degrees to the east, it's not going to, because the elephant is so much bigger, and that's the subconscious mind. And so that's essentially what the difference, that's like our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. So if you are trying to, by sheer willpower and brute force, as the ant, trying to direct your subconscious mind towards a goal that it thinks isn't really possible, they're limiting self-beliefs, so there's no true belief behind it. It's automatically recalling, the automatic failure mechanism has been activated because that's our default go-to, right? And so no matter how much your conscious mind and how much willpower you put into it, you're riding on the back of an elephant, which is your subconscious mind. So it's going to be damn near impossible. It's not totally impossible, but it's very rare that people actually accomplish their goals through sheer willpower alone. So if you can reprogram or redirect that elephant through using creative visualization and through attaching intense emotion to those visualizations, then now your automatic success mechanism has been activated, and that elephant will start to move in that direction. Maybe not 90 degrees east like you want it to, but maybe 45 degrees, right? So you're halfway there. So then it's just an exercise of your willpower for that other 45 degrees, right? And as you continue to strengthen the creative visualization and you go through shadow boxing exercises, then that 45 degrees now becomes 60 degrees of the elephant. Does that make sense? So now your willpower is only maybe 30 degrees as opposed to 45. Then it goes to 75 degrees and only 15 degrees willpower. And sooner or later, within time, with regular practice, habitual exercise, the elephant's moving 90 degrees to the east, and your conscious mind, the ant, is now on the path, and it's effortless. Does that make sense? So again, The Secret, Netflix, that's something else. Last thing I want to talk about is the best practice. When is the best time to practice these methods? I've mentioned this before, but first thing, pay yourself first. I recommend doing it in the morning. That's when I do it. That's when I am the freshest and I'm most receptive to this kind of stuff. If you wait until the evening, the afternoon or the evening, if you're anything like me, life happens. You get tired throughout the day. You get stressed out. By the time afternoon or evening comes by, you're burned out and you're tired. And so it makes it, what do you want to do? I know me, my automatic, my habits that I've developed over the years has been to go sit on the couch, drink a beer or two, and watch TV, mind-numbing TV. Well, how is that serving you? Is it serving you? Because it certainly hasn't been serving me. And so, either reprogram your habits to where you can do this kind of thing in the evening, which can be quite exhilarating, by the way, But again, if the day catches up to you and you feel too tired to give it full effort, then you probably aren't going to do it. You say, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow never comes, right? And so that's why I recommend paying yourself first, doing it first thing in the morning. If you got to wake up 30 minutes earlier in the morning, do it. I wake up at 4 a.m. now every single day because I start my workday at 6. So from 4 to 4:30, I'm getting ready for the, dressed, brush my teeth, make coffee. At 4:30, I do that 10 minutes Headspace app, 20 minutes of planning my day, and then I spend from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. in visualization, shadow boxing, and study of these principles, of these study of personal development. And so by 6 a.m. in the morning, I've had 90 minutes of really thinking about my day and planning and keeping my goals in the focus of my mind, so that when I start my day, I am really, really anxious to get started on achieving those goals. And it's been amazing for me, guys. And so that's what I recommend you pay yourself first. And try to work it into your morning routine. If you have to wake up earlier, just do it. Get up 30 minutes earlier and start with breathing and meditation and then just planning your day. And as we progress through this series, you can start to implement some of the shadow boxing or creative visualization techniques, and you might need a little bit more time for that, and you can start working that into your routine as needed. So this is Bradley. This is the end of the first week of the Mindset Monday series. I know I went through a lot. I don't know if every week's going to be this much, but this is the beginning, so I thought I'd try to kind of, under promise and over deliver. So anyways, we'll see you next week for the next second week of Mindset Monday. See you then.